Well, hello, and welcome back to a new project. Um, so I kind of need something simple for the moment. I've been painting 3 competition pieces back to back, and it absolutely drains me to put in all that. Well, just a part of my soul, really. I only have so much left. So I was looking around my desk, all the piles and stuff. And I just picked something that had already some primer on it. Very handy, I know. So I figured, why not paint a fun little Pokemon? I already had painted Bulbasaur right here. Just something fun for in between when I wanted to paint but not work on a competition piece. So it's not my usual trying to paint it as good as possible, but just having some fun with colors. I painted, no, I did not yet. I printed a couple of cute Pokemon just for these in-between projects. So I finished this little guy here. Already started Pikachu, but still a lot to do. Definitely needs more highlights, but yeah, it's just something for in between. Not really focusing on finishing them as soon as possible. Also got Charmander right here. And I've got these files from 3D Cults from a sculptor named AdamChai, I believe it was. Let me quickly check, because I don't want to say that wrong. 3D Cults. AdamChai, yeah. And he's got all these very cool Pokemon sculpts. So I bought multiple and just check them out. If you got your own printer, if you got a friend with a printer, even better. Just check them out. Very lovely. Got a little hole right there, but I'm going to paint over that, so no worries. Yeah, I think he's cute. I think it can be a fun little paint job in between. Because I really don't want to think about painting another competition piece. That just no. I'm absolutely exhausted. So for his colors, I picked out some already. Picked this blue for his skin tone, which is called Sky Blue. And then this orange leather for his back. Some Tenier yellow for his belly. And then his eyes are a reddish brown, so I figured just grab these two and mix them myself, which is a blood red and brown leather. And since I painted Bulbasaur already with the same mixtures as my previous, with purple in the shadows and yellow in the highlights, I'm going to do the exact same thing here, so they will all match when they are done. So all colors eventually. Just a couple. So the black and purple for the shadow, some white and yellow for the highlights, blue for his skin, orangey brown for his shield, this yellowy color for his belly, and then the brown and red for his eyes and also his tongue, of course. And that should be all colors needed for him. I will also try to keep track of all the colors because I've done the same with Bulbasaur. And I've got all these colors. So these are all the colors I used for Bulbasaur. Just these mixtures. And then the colors I used to create those mixtures. This makes sense to me, so that's a good thing. And I also got some colors from my Lunch with a Dragon mini, and just by looking at the color I know which bottle it is, so maybe should write the names next to it before I get new paints, but that's a problem for looking. So let's mix up some colors for this little friend here. What should I do? The blue will be the biggest part to paint, so let's wait with that for a bit. So let's start with his shield. This will be the orange leather. I just wanted a bit of an orangey brown. And apparently this one fitted the best. We got purple and black. And white and yellow. This one's still new. Yes. Need to shake it a bit more thorough. Sure. Gonna pierce it with an old airbrush needle. I think that's a nice color. Righty, black. Already used that today, so no shaking my arms off. Purple. And the white I'm using is white sands. I never use a pure white, simply because the pigments are just way too rough to work with. I don't like them. Usually I go for this ivory color, which already is a very light yellow, but this works too, just combine them. A bit smaller as the previous miniature. Let's mix some shadow color, purple and black. I think it can be a bit darker. So that will be the shadow color. And we'll have the color straight from the bottle. And the highlight color. Paint that in my little book. Just going to use what's already there, as I did a bit of a zenithal primer with black and white. So all the dark parts will be painted with the shadow color I just created. Also trying to keep in mind what the shape is and how it would work with the shadows and highlights. I mean, it's a round shape, so your shadows will be round as well. I'm going to extend it just a bit further so I can create some decent looking transitions. Should be far up, just to make that a transition. You have to have some overlapping spots, so by painting it up till here and then adding the first highlights till here, you've got more dimensions in your painting, so to say. So I'm going to paint that. Let's see, what did I do with Bulbasaur? Kept it simple. So just the one straight from the bottle here. Maybe in frame would be nice. going to wait for this to dry a bit so I can add a second coat. I want a good coverage. And then once it's dry, I'm going to use this color to add highlights to the shadow part. And if you keep it thin, then you will get that combination of both colors, so it will create a gradient. And then when this needs highlights, I'm just going to use that highlight color I just mixed with some white and yellow, and then pick up the details. And when everything is done, I usually go for the darkest shadow, which is the black and purple. Turn it into a very thinned down version and just glaze in the deepest, darkest parts. So that way you will have the shadow color, the highlight color, second highlight color, and then a second shadow color. So 4 shades all combined with each other, so all the in-between steps as well. And you can push it even farther by going for a third highlight and then just going for these edges, and you can take it as far as you want, but for this paint job I'm just going for simple, so just the ones I mentioned. Let's see. Very lightly going to pass over the darker parts so I can just find out where the higher parts are. So just a bit of dry brushing really. I'm going to clean up what I did with the dry brushing, because now I know where all the raised edges are. I'm going to thin down that shadow color now. And simply glaze it over the highlights on the shadowy part. Going to add the highlights. I'm not sure if I've added enough white. Just going to test it out. When I paint it on and when it's still wet, it looks like a good shade, but now it's dry, you can barely see it. So I'm going to use it, but just for a subtle highlight up here. I like the look so far. But I do want another highlight, so I'm going to add more white and a smidge of yellow to keep it nice and warm. So this is the complete range of colors so far. going to sketch in those patterns on his shield right here. And then I'm going to glaze a bit of that orangey brown back in. So let's thin down a bit of that orangey brown. Just make it into a glaze, really. Going to use that shadow color by refining the deepest layers here. And that is one shield. I mean, I could push it further, but I think it's in line with the other paint job. I think it works together. Let's see, what color was that outer parts? Just white? Huh. Okay, I think I will wait with that a bit longer, because I don't think it's a good idea to start painting a white line now. when I still have to do all that blue. So just going to paint that shields. And also update my book. Okay, which color? Right, the tannery yellow, I think it's called. Light yellow, there. Which is also still unused. Nice. Let's add it to the book. And add that purple and black for the shadow color. Should have been a bit more careful with that black. I think this will work. Let's start with the shadow color. And basically do the same again as with the back of the shields. So want to have some space for gradients. and some shadow underneath his chin as well. So he has quite a big head. It is casting a nice shadow. And while that is drying, I'm going to paint that little highlighted area, because it's not that much. Sometimes a little bit of wet blending is nice to add as well. Just doing what feels right. Which is always something that is very personal. It might work for me, but not for you. So just try, see what works for you. And if you don't like wet blending, just wait a bit longer. Painting those edge highlights with the same color as the highlights. I'm not going too far down because he is standing in an angle, so there's a lot of shadow going on. Gotta keep that in mind as well. Hello, Luske. Currently painting another Pokemon. I'm going to add a bit of white to that light yellow, and of course I don't have to add more yellow because it's already yellow. It's just a bit of white. Thank you very much. Just something simple for tonight. Just some playing with colors and allowing myself to be a bit sloppy today. Just catching my breath, really. I think that's enough for a highlight. Also, my camera is a bit confused with that black glove. You can see the curvature of his little shields. I'm going to add a bit more black and purple to that shadow color. Just a tiny amount before I go too crazy again. I was a bit too careful, it seems. A bit more black. Yeah, it was a busy day indeed. But luckily, now in the evening, just some easy painting. Just having some fun. So I can sleep without the work nightmares. Nah, just kidding. trying to smoothen out the transitions a bit. Of course, don't forget to update the book. Okay. I think it's not a bad idea to paint his mouth, because with the Bulbasaur I forgot to paint his little tongue until after I had painted his skin, and it was just a big mess and I had to clean up everything. So maybe just do that first. What kind of pink is that? I think I can do it with this. Bit of white and you have a pink. Looks like a nice pink to me. Let's add a bit of purple and a bit of black to that. And then first paint the deepest parts with the shadow color. Maybe I should have waited until the previous layer was dry, but I don't want to. And then for the highlights, a bit more white and of course a bit of yellow. Come on, try a bit faster. Looks like he's been eating some fruit or something. This is an albino Squirtle, and I call it done. I was thinking about the sunglasses, but I don't have any paper laying around. Would have been funny though. One more highlights for his tongue. I think that tongue is as good as it gets. Maybe darken this a bit more. It almost looked at this as if he had a split tongue. Almost. Let's paint his eyes. Let me get an example. I think that should be good. Okay, first that white. I can be a bit sloppy here since I still have to paint on his skin, which is quite nice for a change, really. Almost completely black, and then that red brown underneath, so just going to be a bit easier. Just keep it like this. Albino Squirtle with huge pupils. Going to mix these colors for that red-brown. Another. Apparently I have 2 bottles, and I knew I had used it before. looks quite creepy. Let's clean that up just a bit. Definitely not getting better there. Of course, there needs to be a bit more life into those eyes, so I'm going to add a bit of white. A bit more depth into that color. Apparently I'm too careful again. But that is because there was a black base underneath this paint, so it turns out darker. There, that looks a bit more how I had it in mind. Oh, hello there. I was very focused. Let's see. I think it's good. Yeah, I wonder what kind of things Instagram will claim about this paint job. If Bulbasaur was too sexual, this surely will be as well. They fit nicely so far. So it's time to paint this little ghost in a more blue shade. Yeah, I think Instagram was just being weird. They apologized even, which was not expected really. I mean, Squirtle is not naked, he has a shell. Calm down. This blue is also new. Looks like I'm pulling all the new paints from the rack. Bulbasaur is... yeah, you've got a point. The blue looks quite Smurf color. But Bulbasaur was quite blue. I had some examples in front of me, and in one of the examples he was more greenish, in the other more bluish, so I just mixed both and ended up with this. But of course I can't go the same color for Squirtle, so really going for a blue, sky blue even. Very fitting. Yeah. Let's see how blue I can get him. So yeah, of course I'm going to mix some purple and black into it for that shadow color. I think that's a good shadow color. Let's see if I can get some shadow on there. Just keep it like this. I love it. Thankfully there isn't that much skin with all the shell going on. Oh, I mean, I don't want to forget his tail, which I kind of did. Still see him as this albino turtle. It's funny. It's a good thing I waited with that edge of his shield, because I'm sure I would have repainted it by now. Might have thinned down the shadow color a bit too much. But I am running out of that color, so I had hoped it would be enough if I thinned it down. But no. It's nice to finally have a more relaxed mini to paint. I mean, I was so strict with the last paint jobs. Why did it look like shit? What did you do? Ah. I mean, I'm going back and forth with the colors. So maybe that's the thing where it's going wrong. I mean, this still looks weird. It's just sloppy blue and white. But I have to add the first light blue, then the second highlight. So it will get there, but for me this looks like shit too. At least the blue part. The rest is fine. And for the amount of effort I'm putting in today. I mean, I could push it so much further with the browns, but I'm not feeling like doing that today. It's an orangey brown indeed. Orange Leather is the name. And then for the shadow I added a bit of purple and a bit of black. For those highlights I added a bit of white and yellow. So apparently you get this if you do that. I mean, yeah, purple and black. I like to use contrasting colors. So instead of just using black and white for highlight and shadow, I also add another color to it. So if I'm going to use a yellow for my highlights, so a warm color, a warm light, then I will add a purple in the shadow. So it's the same with this. There is purple and black in the shadow, and for the tongue the same. So this bluish color I have now is this bright blue added with purple and black. It's the same for this guy, also purple and black in the shadows and light yellow in the highlights. Same for these guys as well. There is purple and black in the shadows. Didn't. It were like 10 episodes. But hey, if you want, you can rewatch them. I post every episode of my Twitch on YouTube after. Even add a bit of music, since I can't play any music here without getting copyright claims slapped into my face. So yeah, if you have a lot of time on hands, just go watch YouTube. So I'm going to add that Smurf blue now, which is going to look pretty weird, I think. Yeah, let's go for it. Very weird. So it's going to look sloppy at first, because it's really just blocking in colors. And you always paint towards the color you're working on, so if it's a highlight, you paint towards the brighter color, and if it's a shadow, you paint towards the shadow color. I think it's a good blue for him. I hope. And with skin being shiny and reflective, you also have to keep in mind that round shapes will have more highlights on the rounded bits. So not just on the upper side, but also on all the edges you will have. Yep. Looks even weirder now with his white face. And I always like to add a bit of texture with the brush, because that makes it easier to make blends. Just keeping the layers thin so you can add multiple layers without it looking too bulky or like he pooped himself, like you said before. Also, something people always get confused about with nice transitions, they don't have to be perfectly smooth to work. Do I have an example on hand? Well, him for example. Now, let me see. I mean, for example, these highlights here, They aren't just completely smooth, you can see the brush strokes in them, but it adds to it. So you don't always have to make those brush strokes invisible. They can add to your paint job and they can help you with making nice looking transitions. So what is important is the contrast. If your contrast is strong enough, I would say stark enough, yeah. The amount of brush strokes really don't matter. Sorry about the difference in volume. I've tried everything I can think of to increase my volume, but according to my computer, my microphone isn't the issue. So I really have no idea what is going on with the difference in volume between my videos and others. So apologies right there. I'm glad about that. I'm just trying to make some nice transitions into the shadow and first highlight. So just adding those little stripes on all the curves. Same here. And then when I'm done with this, I can come back in with that shadow color, thin it down, and then just glaze over the shadowy part. I will show you that in a bit. I'm really not careful in this step. Still having some poor coverage here and there. paint that big head of his. Starting to look more like Squirtle by now. Oh, that would be nice. Thank you. What kind of miniatures are they? Still some very bad coverage there on the heads, but I'm getting there. So of course that round head also has curves. So I'm trying to find the logic path of highlighting that, which isn't easy, but I'm just doing what feels right, and if that isn't correct, then so be it. It is very blue. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm now going back to that shadow color and thin it down more so I can use it as a glaze really. And then I'm going back in. Just glazing from the highlight towards the shadow. And because it is a nice and thin layer, it will blend the two. And this will give you a more subtle shadow. Sorry, Twitch is being mean to you. But I appreciate you. Thank you. We'll take a look at it after the stream. Trying not to get my hands into the wet paint here. So here you can see the difference between glazing the shadow back in versus this part of his head. So it's just going back and forth between the colors. And I could go even the other way around as well by thinning down the highlights color and then going back over it so you can smoothen out even this part. But I think it's fine as it is now. I'm not going for anything near perfection. I just want to play with contrast and color. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Of course, it will get another highlight. But first I need to address the head shadows. I need a bit more paint as I ran out. And then the trick, of course, is to get that same color again. Almost. And don't forget to thin it down. Would be a shame to cover everything up. See, and then I glaze towards the shadow. Once you can just use your fingers. With that same glaze, I'm also going to add a bit more shadow around his eyes. I mean, as soon as you get the hang of it, it's pretty fast, really. I mean, everything here I painted in 2 hours, which is a bit slower, of course, because I'm chatting, but it's still not bad. And I do think that transition on the head is a bit too rough, so I'm going back in with that light blue, thinned down.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay.
Also, I like the fact that I'm getting questions in this stream. I rarely get any questions when I paint the competition pieces. Is that perhaps because it looks too difficult and this looks like something you could try? And I don't want to scare away people. You can always ask questions. This part looks so weird. It's like a very wild eyebrow. Always something to clean up. I'm a messy painter. Hey, hello. Good evening. At least for me it's evening. Oh, that's quite early. So what do you think of the Squirtle so far? He still needs another highlight in his blues. And I still need to clean up that white trim. But that's definitely one of the last steps, so I don't have to repaint that like every 5 minutes. mean, his blue came out pretty darn good. Because Bulbasaur now looks more greenish. Well, thank you. Of course, Pikachu is there as well. Still not done, but I think they look lovely so far. Then we have for Charmander here. So great. Yeah, it's too early to type for you indeed. What are you doing here this early? That's insane. You don't sleep much. Well, I do. You want me to sleep some hours for you? Taking some notes in my little book here. So far, all the colors used. It's quite interesting to see. I think I'm going to paint that trim, and after that probably end the stream for tonight, as it's been more than 2 hours already. He's adorable. Yeah, I think it's safe to paint that white trim. Let's see. Bit more white on the palettes. And of course I don't just want white, that is way too bland. So adding a tiny bit of black and a tiny bit of purple. Yeah, I think 2 hours is good, since I am not a full-time painter. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning, and it's now 9:30 p.m. So it's late enough for me. So I'm just going to finish this little white trim and then call it a day before I start yawning. As you can see, I'm turning around the miniature quite a lot because it's easier to turn the miniature than to have these weird angles with your brush. Also, that white is so far from actual white. It's more of a slightly pinkish gray. Almost running out of that color here. I hope I can just make it in time. Let's see. On highlights, tiny bit of yellow. And you can see here that I used a bit of purple in the shadow and a bit of yellow in the highlight, so that contrast is stronger. But I am still not at pure whites. See the difference? It's just one layer, one thin layer of highlight. let's go for some whites. Well, thanks for being here, and again, if you want to watch any of the other videos, check the YouTube channel. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it here for today. Unfortunately, I could not finish him completely, but I do not want to rush it. Like, this is very fast for me already. I did quite a lot in just 2 hours, 2-ish. So definitely need to refine that blue, but it's a very nice start. Yeah, exactly. I will be back on Sunday, same time. So if you want to see the rest of this paint job, come take a look on a Sunday. Would be nice. So yeah, just one more side by side. Faces are lovely. So let's see how far I can wrap it up in the next stream. So everybody, thank you for being here tonight. It was quite, let's say a word I suddenly couldn't think about. It really is time for me to end the stream. I'm getting too tired. Anyway, thank you for being here. And if you want to rewatch anything, just go over to YouTube. I will post everything as soon as I can. Add a bit of music to it. And post the pictures on Instagram. So take a look and hopefully see you in the next stream. Bye.